Hello guys, so welcome to KO Tutorials. So let's continue with the next part of this tutorial. So let's get started. So as you can see over here, in the first part we had gone through some of the basic introduction of Substance Painter. So we'll be moving forward over here. So we'll be going through some more in detail about the paint layer. So let's start paint. So we'll again take the basic preset over here. Alright. So as you can see, we have this mesh ready with us over here. And when I was talking about the baking of the textures, so why we do the texture baking? So whenever you are going to import any kind of a 3D model which is unwrapped, you need to bake the textures from here. We have some options over here that's called bake mesh. So why we do bake mesh? So as you can see, baking is a process of saving the information from a 3D mesh to a texture file. So for example, you have a 3D mesh and you want to save it, the information into the texture. We are using this baking process over here. So also it has a high poly and many polygons, which means it can display high resolution 3D detail. So baking is very important whenever you are importing. So you unwrap it, you bake it, and that information will be saved in the form of your texture. So let's again go to the layer window over here. Let's take a new layer, and for example, let's go over here and let's paint some color. So I had shown you one property of a color. So we have something like a color. Let's take a color and let's paint this. So whenever I am painting this color over here, it has different properties. If you look at it, we have color, metal, rough, normal and height. So if I only want to paint a color, let's click only on the color. That's only going to paint the color. How you can do that? Press Alt and click on the color. You can see that there is no shine, no roughness, no height map and no normal map. So what is a normal map? So normal map is something like a roughness map, which is going to give you a kind of a fake detail. So it is going to work in the form of texture, not in the form of a the mesh. So let's click on the color and let's paint the color. So as you can see, once I start painting the color, as you see over here, you will see that once I start painting all of this, you will see one thing. I'm just giving the color so you'll get an idea. So this is what I have painted, that is just a base. If I click again on metal and I have activated the metal property and let's start painting. So now if you go over here and into the metal, I'll just increase this, and now if I start painting, you will see that I'm getting the metallic property over here. So you can just go into the display settings over here. I'll go into the environment map and I'll add some environment map. So I'll just remove this environment blur over here, environment opacity, I'll just increase it, and now let's paint it. So now you'll see, once I start painting it, I have the metallic property as well. I'm going to get this metallic property. So if you make it full white and if you start painting, you'll get something more of a metallic. You will get the metallic look. Also you have the roughness. So when I go over here into the roughness and if I push towards white over here, and now if I try to paint it, you will see that you get the roughness over here. And in case if I push my roughness towards black over here, you see that I'm going to get the high reflections. So you can paint the individual properties as well. So like for example, you take a new layer and you want to paint something like a yellow color over here. You want to paint a yellowish color. So you only paint on the roughness. You can just alt and click over here, and now you paint it. You will see that you will not get the color, but you will only get the roughness. Instead of that, if you click on the color and the roughness, and you will see that you will get the color and the roughness. So roughness, if the roughness is towards the black part, it is going to give you high reflections, but if it is going towards white, it is not going to give you any kind of reflections. So this is what I wanted to explain, is like you can handle this individual properties over here. So now again I'll go over here. Let's take this color, and now we have one property again, that is a height map. So how you can take a height map? For a height map, I'll just go into this alpha. I'll go into this alpha and let's take any of this. So I want to take a marking of it. Let's take this, and now if I'm using alpha over here, so now you see that on the first layer, if I see this, only I am going to increase the height map. So let's click on the height. Let's just go over here and let's click over here. So whenever you click it, you see you are getting a depth over here. The roughness is coming up. So if you push it down, and again if you go over here and again you reduce and click over here, you see it's going to go inside. So this is your minus and this is your plus. And now if you go with the height and the color same simultaneously, you will get both color as well as the height map. So it's very important that what you want to paint exactly. You want to paint a color, you want to paint a map, a height map, whatever. So let's take an example of a bluish color. So I'll take a blue color on the other layer. I'm going to paint color and height. Let's click over here. Now you can see this, you're getting a color as well and you're getting a height map as well, because you have activated the color and height as well. So if you off the color, so as you know that whenever using a alpha over here, that is a mask, black goes inside, white comes up. Okay, so you can use the settings for black and white for positive and negative stuff. So this is how you can use this elements over here. And also you have a normal map, you can also use a normal map for it. So that I'll show you in the further sessions over here how we can activate it. And in case if you only want the color, any of it you want only the single element, you can just click alt and click on that particular property. So once you click on that particular property, only that property is going to be visible. Now for example, let's again delete this layer for now. Let's take a new layer. Let's rename it as a base over here. Let's take the new layer and I'll go into the color. Let's say I'll only paint a color. I'll just go into this and I'll just take a basic brush over here. So I can take a basic soft rounded brush and I'll just paint a bluish color on top of it. I'll just paint a color. So now you have another color on top of it. So let's just paint it. So now we have a property over here that is known as a mask. So how this mask work is like, so you have this top layer as blue and the bottom as orange. So let's click over here, add a mask. and you have a white mask and a black mask. For example, if you take a white mask over here, you see that you get this property over here as a mask. So you can just click on the mask, and now if you try to paint, so now you are not on the paint layer, you are on the mask layer, and if you try to paint it, you will see that this is going to hide and unhide the mask. See, now I cannot paint it because I have taken a white mask, and if I just make it black and if I try to paint it, so it is going to hide this blue layer. So how much layer you want to hide it from the top using a mask, that can be done over here. So it's a vice versa. So even if you go over here and if you make it a black mask, or you can add a black mask, so you see that now, so the black mask is been inverted. Now if you try to paint it, you will see that it is totally inverted. So any of it you can use it. So mask is a very important part in this Substance Painter. Will be going through a lot of things over here using a mask. Also we can add multiple things. So using a mask, you can also use some brushes also. So for example, you want to use any kind of a frost brush. So let's take example as a frost brush, and you have taken a mask and you just click it over here. You see you get different styles over here. If you want to go with some different kind of brushes over here, you can just write this. I'll show you how to download different elements over here. Now you just increase the size of it, and now you paint it. As you can see, so I am painting on the mask, and if you see, once you start painting on the mask, you get the colors because I have taken as a over here as a black mask. So on the black mask, so it is going to get inverted over here. You see this. So again, if you go over here and again make it as a white mask, so it is going to visible like this. Again you click over here, and now you start painting it, you will get the inverse stuff. Alright, so guys, hope you got an idea about the paint layer. So we'll be going through a lot of things like the materials also. So I'll be showing you something more about the paint layer, also how to add some alphas and all this stuff in the coming session. Apart from that, we'll be going through few more properties. So if you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section over here. So this is your mask, this is your base layer, and we have put a mask over here, as you can see. And if you want to remove the mask, you can just right click and remove mask. You see this. So please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. So we'll continue the rest of the part in the coming tutorial. So thanks for watching this tutorial.